Hi everybody, Jacqueline here, and we're going to do a delicious stretch and core segment here. It's about 20 to 30 minutes, actually 30 minutes total. So if you like my content, I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button, as I'm going to be doing a series coming up of learning to lift. So the basics, all the basics. So why pick up some weights if you don't know proper form and technique before you even start? But we'll get back to this, and I'll be speaking and giving you directions as we go through this wonderful sunrise stretch and core. So there will be some strength, stretch, and core, and it's going to be similar to what sometimes seems like I'm doing sun salutations or the 5 Tibetans. So standing with your feet together, you're going to take your legs hip width apart, and breathe and take your arms up and out and breathe in and out. And as you stretch up, you're looking up with your neck, you're embracing your core, bracing your core, feeling lovely, just being able to stretch. And then you're going to bend at the hips, straighten your back, straighten your legs, and come back up. And let's do that one more time. Straighten through the legs and bring it up. And again, up. Bend at the hips. Straighten through the legs just for a second and allow your body to hang. Stretch out, extend your knees again, and roll up. Arch your back a little bit. And now standing, facing forward, legs far apart, your toes and heels facing forward, heels to the back, toes to the front. You're going to bend your knees and feel a nice stretch through the inner thighs as you go side to side. Now take your opposite hand to the outside of your foot, if you can. If it's too soon, just be gentle on yourself, but feel that nice stretch. And extend your legs. Keep your hand, other arm on your hip. Extend your leg. Do what feels good to you. This will get your hamstring and your inner thighs. It gives you a standing twist. Then take your legs a little further now and walk your hands in, and if you're able to, hold on to your ankles. Nice flat back. And now again go side to side. You may not have as much stretch or be able to go as deep, but that's okay. Your intensity should be about a 4 out of 10. And slowly come on up. Next, you're going to place one leg forward, one leg back. Line your body up, reach up, come onto your toes, and push that heel into the floor. Take your arms up and back. And as you can see, I'm taking my hands and flexing them, pointing them and flexing them, and getting some mobility through the hands. Now we're going to take our leg down and come on forward, stretching through the hip, taking the knee back down. One hand is on the floor. You can have a yoga block if you need it, if it's a little bit difficult. And you're going to push back with that heel. And now bring your arm up. You've got 90 degrees in the front leg. You're going to take your arm up and over to the side. Overhead, pull it down. Overhead, pull it down. Like you're doing half a lat pull down. You're reaching back, engaging the muscles. Now walking through the center, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So knee comes down, tucking the toe, coming up, Feeling the stretch in the calf. Heel to the floor, flexing the hands, pointing the hands, flexing the wrists. A nice line down the back. And then coming down, knee to the ground, knee and calf stretch, knee down, calf stretch. It's also going through the hip, feeling a nice stretch, and up, nice and tall through the body. The arm goes up and over, and pull it down. You should feel a really nice stretch through the hip here, especially when you take your arm overhead. Reach. Engage the back. Come forward, tuck the toe. And coming back to your center position. Coming up. Reaching, stretching through the vertebrae. Now we're going to come on down to the floor. We're going to sit on our heels. So especially for runners, your feet might cramp up here, but it's a wonderful stretch for your feet and your ankles and your back, and your quads will feel this. And now you're going to do a few cat-cows. So rounding out the spine. Keep your feet flexed. Hopefully they're not cramping up. If they are, you can put them down flat. I like to have that mobility in my feet, having my toes be able to bend forward like that. Tuck them under and coming into into a lower back stretch. A child's pose, stretching out the front of the tibialis. This is a great way to do it, is going into the child's pose. So that's the front of your shins, getting a nice stretch as you sit back onto your feet, your lower back as well. It feels really, really good. It's good for those feet. Tucking the toes again. And this time we're going to stretch into the hamstrings. We're going to work the calves a little bit. Again, foot mobility. You're coming right up on your toes. You're stretching through the hamstrings, the calves, making sure that your hips are reaching towards the sky and coming into an arch. Your wrists are getting some action here. If this is hard on your wrists, you can use yoga blocks or weights to hold on to. And we're just going to do a few of these where you untuck the toes, then tuck them and stretch it out. And arch the back. So arching the back gives the vertebrae a whole bunch of space. Making sure you look up as well. Another child's pose. All right, so here comes some work now. So you're going to round out the spine and reach it back. Round out the spine, reach it back. So what this actually does is it works the quads a little bit. You might need a little cushioning on your knees, so you could double up the mat, roll it up a little, round it out, arch the back, lean back. And notice how with each one, you lean back a little bit further. Maybe you don't lean that far back right now. You do what's comfortable for you. It's a lovely exercise. It works the core, it works your quads, it works your glutes. You're engaging them, you're rounding out the spine. You're stretching through the front of your shins, the tibialis. Your feet are getting a little bit of a stretch in that pointed position. We're going to do 21 in total. Do what you can. You don't have to do that many. Just keep the flow going. And try and arch the back. Let your head hang back. Come onto all fours. Give yourself a little stretch through the back. Again, coming into your down dog and up. Working the calves, flexing the feet and the toes. This is so good for your foot, for both feet, and coming into a plank and back. And we're going to repeat this one for about 21 times. Try not to do these moves too quickly. This is a wonderful stretch for the hamstrings, the calves. And of course, you're working your core because you're coming to a full plank each time. Almost done. And taking your knees to the floor, coming into a child's pose stretch. Gives the lower back a nice release. And then we're going to do some work for your triceps. Again, your wrists are going to feel this. If you need to have yoga blocks to put your wrists on, if your arms are shorter, eventually you're going to be pulling your butt between your arms. This is a nice shoulder stretch. So coming up and then the shoulder stretch. So your hands have to face forward for this. Your butt comes to the floor and you're coming back as far as your shoulders will comfortably allow. Coming up. All right, so now we're going to get into, give your hands a little bit of a rest. Whatever works for you. I have very long arms, so I'm able to come up and back and get my butt just touching the floor as I come up. This is tricep strength, it's core strength. It's a full body strength move and a stretch at the same time. Pushing in through the mat with your feet as you come up into your bridge. Squeeze the bum. Look up with your head. Don't let your head hang. Keep in control. It's a lovely flow. And you're going to repeat this about 21 times. And like I said, just do what you can. If you can't do the 21, Push your fingertips into the floor if your wrists start to really feel like they're bothered by this. I absolutely love this move. It's a great, great tricep strengthening move. And there we go, a little bit of a shoulder stretch, a little bit of a wrist roll just to get some blood flowing through the wrist joints. Sitting in a V-sit, you're going to rotate your wrists one direction and then rotate them the other way. And then we're going to take ourselves down to the floor. Legs are up. You're going to rotate those ankles one direction and rotate them the other way. And now you're going to take your hands into a triangle, just like that, and you're going to put that right, the thumbs fit right underneath your tailbone. Your hands are there to support your lower back, and we're going to do leg drops. Make sure your shoulder blades are tucked down, and you're only going to go down as far as you feel safe in your back to go. If your back starts to arch too much, then you only go as far as you feel like your back is going to start to come off and arch. Engage that core. So breathe in, breathe out, and as you breathe out, I like to breathe out as the legs come down to engage that core. Give a little cough if you need to, just to make sure it's tight, and breathe, keep breathing, pulling up through your pelvic floor. This works the transverse abdominis. It works the hip flexors. If your hip flexors cramp, take a little break. Give yourself a hug, a little happy baby, grabbing your feet, giving the lower back and the hips some compression. And now you're going to take yourself into a bridge and give the blood flow, let the blood flow through those hips that have just been compressed. Bring your hips to the floor. You're going to take your arms out, palms to the ceiling, engage that core. Bring your legs to tabletop, maybe a little bit less of a tabletop, and we're going to do a twist side to side times 20. So I'm trying very hard not to touch my legs down each time. It's quite normal to move along the mat a little bit, like an inchworm, as you go side to side. That's a very normal thing to do. And just keep that core really tight. This is really good for your back. Now, if you have any kind of herniated discs in the mid-spine, if you have osteoporosis in your spine, please consult a physician before you do any twisting. If you do not have any of those conditions and you love to twist, this will strengthen your obliques. It's also a lovely stretch. The next thing we're going to do is open up the hips. So you're at 90 and 90. Your legs are the width of the mat apart. When they come down, you're at 90 and 90. So this opens up the hips. It's also a lower back twist. It's subtle. If it hurts, do not do it. Omit the twisting if you have any back conditions at all. Otherwise, enjoy the opening through the hips. There's one more exercise in this video that's going to have a twisting of the spine. So you just make sure that's okay for you to do. And you're going to do that for 20 reps. Everything I do is either 20 or 21 reps. Get a little stretch. So here we go with the flexibility. It is a hollow body hold. You're going to take one leg at a time and gently tug at it. You're going to do what you can. Again, you're working your hip flexors, you're working your entire core, you are working your neck muscles. If this hurts your neck, then you can hold your hands behind your ears and do not tug on the legs and just do the scissor kicks. You can also lie down flat on your back, tuck your hands underneath your tailbone again, and do your alternating scissor kicks. And give yourself a hug. And again, I love to stretch the spine, open up the vertebrae this way with a bridge, and I also feel a lovely stretch through my quads when I do this stretch. Next, we're going to stretch our glutes. We're going to have a 90-degree angle and flex that foot to keep the knee safe. Same with the back leg. You're going to sit up nice and tall, and you're going to take your opposite arm and bring your chest as close to your thigh as you can. Then you're going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. So this will create some mobility through the hips. You're flexing your feet. I'm curling back my toes because I do that a lot. But it's a good thing. You can actually, if you want, even spread the toes. Sometimes I get cramps from that. But I keep the feet flexed so that my knees do not torque. But this should be a lovely stretch through your glutes. And you can take it a slower pace if you want. It also, when you're going side by side, I find that my butt muscles, my butt cheeks get a little bit of a massage here. It actually feels really good. You can let me know in the comments what you think. And please let me know in the comments what you think of the entire video. I love doing them. I love to help people. And I love to get feedback, so I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, so now we get to go into a wonderful back stretch. So you're going to come through and open up. So it's a back stretch and a chest opener. And I am going a little speedier. As I'm watching this and recording this, I'm going a little speedier than I would normally do this. So you can slow it down or you can go my pace. But this is a lovely stretch. And it also works the neck muscles because I don't want you to twist your neck. I want you to just go naturally with it. But keep the neck in line with the spine. So you can see I'm keeping my neck in line with the spine. Perhaps I'm doing a little bit of a turn. I'm bending my elbow, straightening it, and then opening up through the chest. And so this is your other twisty spinal twist. So again, if you've been told by a medical professional not to twist, please do not twist. You can do a child's pose, you can do a banana, which I'm not doing today. You can look up a banana to get the same kind of stretches. Push your heels to the floor. Again, here comes another lower body twist. It is a hip opener. You're going to open up. You're in the downward dog position. I love this stretch. This just feels so good through the hips. It also feels amazing through the side of your body, your torso, where you've done the twists. So your obliques, your side muscles, are all getting a lovely stretch here. So So working on the hips, very important. So after all that work that we did with the leg drops and the hamstring stretch where we did the scissor kicks in the hollow body, your hips are going to need a little bit of a stretch. And here we go with the hamstrings. So alternating hip flexor, hamstring. So like a runner's stretch to a hamstring, note that I'm flexing and keeping a soft bend in the extended leg. Do not hyperextend your forward leg. That will only stretch the back of the knee. We want to stretch the hamstring. If you cannot touch the floor, grab a couple of yoga blocks. Do what you can. Straighten as much as you can. This side is always a little tighter for me, so it takes a bit to get going there in the hamstring. So just do what I do. Hopefully you've got some nice music going in the background. It's so rare that in Nova Scotia here we get to have time on the deck at sunrise. It's usually quite chilly still. So this was just an absolutely lovely morning that I had to take the opportunity for delicious stretch and core work. And I wanted to share it with you. So heel toe back in, hang, holding your elbows. Let the weight of your elbows pull on your lower back. Slowly roll on up. Take the arms up, arch the back. Come back to neutral, go over to each side. A little bit more of a hip flexor stretch. A little bit of chest stretch. Coming to the other side, same thing. Hip flexor, reaching back, clasping your hands. If you cannot clasp your hands, just merely put them on your hips and open up through the chest. Come back to center, and I think I'm going to hold on to the bar. You can be close to a wall, have a chair close by. This is working your balance a little bit. A couple of fingers on, have one finger on the handlebar just to help with balance. And just stretching through the hamstring, through the quad, keeping your neck in line with the spine. We're going to get to some neck stretches, wonderful neck stretches. And the other side. Grabbing your foot, flexing it so that you can get a really nice stretch through the quadricep. Up and back. And if you're not feeling it, a little trick that I love to do for my quadriceps is to actually push with my foot as I flex it into my hand. So if you push your foot into your hand, push your hips forward, you will get a much deeper stretch. There's something about flexibility work that just feels so good for the rest of the day. And this is a longer stretch and core workout. So I like to do this perhaps once a week. Make sure I get all my muscles stretched out. And now we're going to go into the neck. So I'm going to turn and face my back to you. You take your right arm, put it along your left butt cheek, grab your left hand around your right wrist, pull gently, ever so gently, and then take your head to one side. And now I'm tucking my chin to the collarbone and getting a really nice stretch through the back of my neck. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Grab my wrist, pull it over to my right butt cheek, take my ear towards my shoulder, and then gently tuck that chin towards the collarbone. And I'm going to get right into the traps, turn it sideways again, and then come up straight. And now we're going to stretch our shoulders. So you're going to turn. This also stretches the biceps beautifully. So you're going to turn the palm, rotate your shoulders, turn the palm of your hand to the ceiling. And now do it without using your neck. So the first round, I was kind of twisting my neck a little bit side to side. Now keep your head straight and you'll really feel the biceps here. So doing that a couple of times, you're going to reach up, reach out, and I'm going to bid you adieu. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, please, and I will see you soon.